This is another sign of the times, an analysis and a commentary. Pakistan rejects U.S. account of cross-border raid. Pakistan's military issued an uncompromising formal rejection on Monday of the United States report last month on a contentious border exchange of fire that killed at least 24 Pakistani soldiers, dealing a fresh blow to American hopes of reviving a troubled strategic relationship. In a statement, Pakistan's military press office described the American account of the November 26 exchange as factually not correct, accused the United States of failing to share information at any level, and rejected any responsibility for the bloody incident. In the exchange, American AC-130 gunships flew 2 miles into Pakistani airspace to return fire after Pakistani troops attacked an American-Afghan ground patrol across the border in Afghanistan. It was the Pakistani military's first public comment on the American report since immediately rejecting it when it was released nearly a month ago. The American investigation, led by Brigadier General Stephen Clark of the Air Force, described a chain of errors, delays, and conflicting protocols between American and NATO troops that ultimately prevented the United States warplanes from identifying the Pakistanis as friendly forces until 24 were dead and 13 others were wounded. The inquiry also blamed Pakistan, saying its military had failed to inform NATO of the location of new military posts along the long, often poorly marked border. Pakistan's military refused to cooperate with the American inquiry, claiming that previous American investigations of disputed border attacks had been biased. The Pakistani military published its own 25-page report, described in the title as Pakistan's Perspective on General Clark's report. The military rejected any American criticism as unjustified and unacceptable, adding that the United States and NATO had violated all mutually agreed procedures for border operations. Pakistani fury is a product of genuine public outrage at the killings, which American officials privately admit were largely their fault, and deep-rooted hostility to the United States. But it is also driven by a desire on the part of the Pakistani military to deflect attention from their embarrassment about the American raid that killed Osama bin Laden on May 2nd. They've been preparing this a long time, a senior American official said. It is not coming out of the blue. In retaliation for the November killings, Pakistan has blocked NATO supply lines passing through its territory, which are variously estimated to account for 40 to 60% of military supplies reaching Western troops in Afghanistan. Pakistani military officials say that when the supply lines are reopened, NATO military goods will be subject to an as yet undetermined transit tariff. Amid the crisis, Pakistan has also frozen diplomatic relations in public, although American officials say that cooperation continues at lower levels. Pakistani lawmakers are currently engaged in a policy review aimed at reorganizing the relationship based on a hard-nosed assessment of each side's interests. The lower and upper houses of Parliament are expected to debate the new policy in a special joint session in late January. The senior American official said the Obama administration was engaged in strategic patience. They hope to come to us by early February and say, "We are ready to talk," he said. "We are waiting until they are ready to talk." Now they appear to be getting closer to that place. The crisis has also affected CIA operations in Pakistan's tribal belt. In December, the Pakistani military ejected American operations from an air base used to mount drone strikes against militant targets. drone attacks stopped in December, but resumed January 10th. The latest strike took place on Monday morning in North Waziristan, in a village called Degan. Witnesses said that a drone fired several missiles at a house, killing 4 people. Press reports in Pakistan have suggested that the leader of the Pakistani Taliban was killed in a January 12th CIA strike, but a senior Pakistani intelligence official said that there was no confirmation one way or the other. The troubled relationship has also hurt tentative American efforts to explore so-called peace talks with Afghanistan's Taliban insurgents, as a major troop reduction scheduled for 2014 draws near. The State Department's envoy to the region, Mark Grossman, who is leading the effort, recently postponed a planned trip to Islamabad after Pakistani officials declined to meet with him in Kabul. A spokesman for the NATO-led International Security Assistance Force declined to comment on the Pakistani report, but stressed that hard lessons had been learned from the exchange of fire. In other words, it seems to be that we are already at war with Pakistan in some kind of way. So, what will be the end result of these things? Everything is connected, and everything is numbered. It's also called fate or destiny, because it's about what kind of world are we leaving to the future generations. This too is another sign of the end of times as we know them, Transition Day, which is a time of extraordinary happenings, changes, and events. Luke chapter 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. 26. Humans' hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud, with power and great glory. 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws near. Everything that must change, quickly or rapidly, and for the better. It's time for the manifestation of prophecy, and all these are more signs.